In 2025, Donald Trump announced aggressive tariffs against all nations, both allies and enemies. What did the billionaires like Bill Gates, Warren Buffett, Howard Marks, and Ray Dalio think of the tariffs and President Trump's approach to economic diplomacy in general? Let's find out. Don't forget to like and subscribe.
I mean, tariffs are actually, we've had a lot of experience with them. They're an act of war to some degree. Over time, they're a tax on goods. Prices will be higher 10 years from now and 20 years from now and 30 years. I mean, the tooth fairy doesn't pay up.
Well, the big concern I have is we've created a lot of uncertainty. If you're going to build a new factory, you need to understand the policies for the next 20 years, not just the next 2 days or even 4 years. And so the notion of, okay, what is the structure, particularly in a time of AI where the labor substitution, both white collar and blue collar, is going to start to change the economy. I think it's a bad time to interject so much uncertainty.
This is the biggest change in the environment that I've seen probably in my career. We've gone from free trade or world trade and globalization to this system which implies significant restrictions on trade in every direction and a step toward isolation for the United States. I believe that the last 80 years since World War II have been the best economic period in the history of mankind, and one of the major reasons was the growth of trade. And I think that we have truly had a rising tide that lifted all boats, and trade was a big part of that. And everybody in the audience should understand the role of trade.
In the United States, I mean, we should be looking to trade with the rest of the world, and we should do what we do best, and they should do what they do best. And I don't think it... That's what we did originally. I mean, we were good at producing tobacco and cotton 250 years ago, and we traded it. And we want a prosperous world.
It raises costs. It lowers revenues for companies. I mean, what does it mean for a company? It means costs are going to go up, revenue is going to go down, and capital is going to be harder to come by. And so, and then we're trying to replace manufacturing. I mean, I agree with the problems, okay, about the fact that we don't manufacture and that there is a problem with that. But there's a structural problem of whether we can manufacture. We have a population that basically 3 million people, 1% of the population, is incredibly brilliant. I mean, they go to the best schools, they come out, they make the unicorns, inventiveness, half of which, by the way, are foreigners. And at the same time, they are making the unicorns. At the same time, what we have is 10% of the population around them that's doing very well. The 60% of the population has below a 6th grade reading level. And it's tough to be productive.
Every country, for example, does some things better and worse. And worldwide welfare is maximized when every country does the things it does best and cheapest, and then sells them to the countries that need them, which do other things and sell them to other people. That's how trade works. And, well, I don't know if it's politically correct, but the good news is that the Italians make the pasta and the Swiss make the watches. But if we stop world trade and the Swiss have to make their own pasta and the Italians have to make their own watches, the world will probably be, well, maybe arguably people in both countries will be a little worse off. That's what we're talking about here.
I agree with the problem, okay? I am very concerned about the solution, okay? The practicality of the solution. In other words, I think that this is going to create not only the problem, the capital markets problem that I'm talking about related to prices going up, costs going up, prices, revenue going down, and capital problem. But I also think that this is going to create great sand in the gears of production worldwide. At the same time, I do agree that this interdependency, this issue of productivity in the world in which we have to be competitive and productive, and we're not competitive in producing things, is a longer-term problem, not an easy one. And I do expect that it is going to have political consequences.
The United States, we've won. I mean, we have become an incredibly important country, starting from nothing. 250 years ago, there's nothing been anything like it. And it's a big mistake, in my view, when you have 7.5 billion people that don't like you very well, and you got 300 million that are crowing in some way about how well they've done. And I don't think it's right, and I don't think it's wise. I do think that the more prosperous the rest of the world becomes, it won't be at our expense. The more prosperous we'll become, and the safer we'll feel, and your children will feel someday. So that's.
What do you think of Trump's tariff policy? Let us know in the comments. We'd love to know what you have to say.